After sinking over 100 of hours, obtaining almost every item, finishing Apocalypse difficulty and getting almost every achievement in the game, Remnant 2 offers more thrilling adventures that you have yet to encounter, and while I can confidently say Remnant 2 is a good Souls-like game.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Overall, I cannot consider it a good sequel. Remnant 2 values exploration quite a lot.
We do not care.
Rewarding every corner, every location you explored, with lots of loot and chests, one level up book, so it's always worth exploring everything fully. So, Remnant 2 revealed its new expansion, the Awakened King, with a new archetype, called the Ritualist. And to provide a bit of context, introduces a new storyline focusing on the root corrupted the one true king. And also, the Awakened King promises a significant number of new weapons and equipment, new enemies and bosses in this new expansion. Although, Gunfire Games has now confirmed over on social media posts that you don't need to purchase a copy of the Awakened King expansion in order to play through its storyline and visit its new locations. You can play with a friend that's already owned the DLC expansion. But there is a catch to this.
Are you serious?
While you don't have to own the DLC to play it, you can't bring back the DLC items. That means weapons, modifications, amulets, rings, and anything else unlocked while playing the expansion will remain locked, until you'll have to buy the DLC expansion yourself.
Behold true power! I am just. I am king! The one true king of the Fae! My will is law! Kneel before your king!
Now coming to the new archetype. The Ritualist is a powerful class focusing on status effects and big area damage. It means, if an enemy dies, the status effects will spread nearby enemies, dealing heavy damage. Every archetypes have one unique prime perks, which can be unlocked once you choose your archetype as the main class. Prime perks can get 2 upgrades. The first one when you reach level 5, and the second one once you reach level 10. Now, let's talk about the Ritualist prime perk called Vile. This perk has the ability to apply negative status effects that inflict the infected condition. What's interesting is that enemies affected by this perk will receive 5% more damage from status effects. But that's not all. The effects will also spread to all nearby enemies within a 5-meter range. So, it's safe to say that this perk is quite powerful and can really wreak havoc on your foes. Next one is Damage perk. This perk increases all damage to nearby enemies affected by a negative status effect by 2%. Next one is Dark Blood perk. This perk reduces damage received from negative status effects by 25%. The last one is Purge. This one cleanses all negative status effects after an relic been used. Now coming to skills, every archetypes have 3 skills at their disposal, but they can only have one equipped at a time. These skills have long cooldowns, making the decision of when to use them a crucial one. Skills can't be upgraded and have only one level. The Ritualist has 3 skills, which are Eruption, Miasma, and Death Wish. The Eruption. This ability causes a massive explosion, dealing 150 damage to all enemies within a 15-meter radius. The explosion's range and damage are boosted by 100% for each different status effect affecting the enemy target. The Miasma. This ability casts big area bursts that applies bleeding, burning, overloaded, and corroded to all nearby enemies within 15-meter range, and dealing a total of 1500 base damage. And finally, the Death Wish. This ability is incredibly useful, as it negates all healing to oneself. It drains health at a rate of 300% over a span of 20 seconds. Additionally, it increases all damage dealt by 35%, and grants 10% of the base damage as lifesteal. So let me start by saying, is this DLC worth buying? I know when it comes to performance, Remnant 2 isn't the best, but the core gameplay loop is awesome. Remnant 2 emphasis on replayability, and the different experiences that the game can generate from one person to the next, are impressive, as each run feels unique. Combat feels great, and the freedom in build creation is a huge improvement over its predecessor. But still, you'll feel some issues with the game's core may leave some disappointments. To be honest, I definitely recommend you to buy this expansion. This is an absolute must-buy DLC expansion worth the asking price, although the DLC does not have any new difficulty rewards, such as cool weapons with mods that can only be obtained if you play in harder difficulty, which is kind of a letdown. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. Now, why I recommend this DLC: because the environments in Remnant 2 is seriously amazing. Not only the detail, but the incredible varieties, the visual styles of Ishan and Lawsong, Faye and Dran alone would encompass entire other big AAA games, but Gunfire Games managed to fit them all in a single package and it works great. Now, the new expansion map is quite small and intricate as well as interconnected. You can start this mission on Apocalypse difficulty, but you'll slightly face more challenging than base Lawsong on Apocalypse difficulty. So far, it's excellent. Not a lot of new bosses, but the level design is a huge ramp up if you ask me. Now, let's talk about what feature I want added in Remnant 2, and why I like the first game and the DLC expansions. Gunfire probably have some crazy ideas nobody expecting in the first game. We got 2 DLC for the game. The first one, The Swamps of Courses, expanded a previous small static world like the Labyrinth or the Root Earth into a full-size procedurally generated world like the others, while the second DLC, Subject 2923, added a new completely unknown world. But there is a story to experience here. This DLC main focus takes the game in a different direction, being much more puzzle-based. You'll do lots of running around and backtracking. There is also a dimension shifting mechanic, and the enemies in the area are mere ghostly figures that you can't interact with them until you shift to the other dimension, which adds another layer. And also, I want to see the roguelite mode similar to the one in Remnant 1. This will probably be the one I personally like, that mode, and even more so that there were items you could only get from that mode for your main character. While we've been seeing major game failures in 2023, taking examples like No Man's Sky when it first launched, Cyberpunk, Forspoken, Jedi Survivor, Battlefield 2042, The Last of Us Part 1 PC launch, and the utterly garbage games, Redfall and Gollum, it's evident that the main causes differ for each titles. However, some common issues persist. Could it be due to a lack of communication between higher-level management and the actual developers, or is it a result of overly tight schedules? Are budget constraints causing problems? Are poor decisions being made? Or is it crunch time playing a role? Or perhaps it's related to monetization practices, such as online features, cut contents, and cosmetic ideologies. I haven't been able to identify a clear pattern. This is mainly because much of the information is locked behind closed doors within the companies themselves. Furthermore, I believe that one of the main factors contributing to the perception of games being incomplete is the increasing size and complexity of AAA games. As these games continue to grow, it becomes increasingly challenging to ensure seamless integration of all components. With larger teams and increased outsourcing, the need for coordination becomes even more crucial. That concludes my video on the new expansion and new archetypes. If you got invaluable information, then subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thank you for watching till the end. I'll be covering more gaming related contents on this channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.